The ancient city of Jericho is located on the western side of the Jordan Rift Valley, north of the Dead Sea. Even at the time of the conquest, the city was old. In fact, many archaeologists believe that Jericho is the oldest city on Earth, dating to the pre-pottery Neolithic period. The city would have been an imposing sight to the Israelites. 40 years earlier, the Hebrew spies had reported that the cities of Canaan were great and fortified up to heaven. They could well have been referring to Jericho. The city was built on a tell, a mound with layers of dirt and archaeology like a layer cake. Each time a city was destroyed, the new occupants would level the ruins by adding dirt and debris, building the new city on top. Each successive layer raised the city higher than before. Around the tell of Jericho, the Canaanites built a stone retaining wall measuring between 12 to 15 feet high. On top of this stone wall was built a mud brick wall, between 20 and 30 feet high. The outer wall would rise between 32 to 45 feet above the ground. Inside the outer wall was a glacis, a sloped incline leading to the inner wall of the city. Situated on top of the tell was the main city, surrounded by this inner wall, which would have stood another 25 feet or so above the summit. To someone standing outside the city, it certainly would have been fortified up to heaven. Jericho covered an area of about 9 acres, with a circumference of a half-mile. Staying beyond the range of the archers and slingers, the Israelites marched around the city once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, they marched around the city 7 times. At the appointed moment, 7 priests before the Ark of the Covenant blew their shofars. The people shouted, and the walls collapsed. The Bible then tells us that the Israelites went up into the city. The archaeological evidence clearly shows that sometime in the late Bronze Age, the walls of Jericho collapsed. It was the mud brick superstructure that tumbled outward and landed below the stone retaining wall, forming a ramp for the Israelites to charge up into the city. Interestingly, the Hebrew word in Joshua 6:20 that is translated as flat in English is the word tachat, which means underneath or below. Jericho was a sacrifice to the Lord. The Israelites were instructed to destroy everything and to take nothing except for the metals to be used in the service of the Lord. The archaeology reveals that the entire city was burned after the walls collapsed, and that jars full of the spring barley harvest were torched by the conquerors rather than captured. On the north side of the tell, a small section of the outer mud brick wall remained. Structures were built into it. Is this the house of Rahab, spared by the hand of God?